Hey folks, Nick here from another BookTube channel, and today we're continuing the Swamp Thing read-along with Saga of the Swamp Thing number 25, script by Alan Moore, art by Stephen Bissette and John Totleben. This issue right here, and the experience that I had reading it for this project, is exactly the reason I wanted to do this read-along. I haven't read this series straight through in like 7 or 8 years, and I've grown a lot as a comic book reader in that time. And in reading this, like, there's so much that I missed the first time around. This is truly master storytelling, I think, in this issue. I absolutely loved reading this, and I hope this video kind of explains why and gets that point across. We'll start with the cover, which I really like. I love the imagery of the creature jumping out of the water to surprise and grab the beautiful woman's foot. Very evocative of old monster movies. Really nice one there. Great job by Bissette and Totleben. We'll open it up and we'll take a look and we'll get started with the story. So we open with a mysterious stranger getting off the bus in Louisiana. He's got these crazy long eyebrows. He's got red eyes and red hair with a white patch down the center of it. So this guy obviously looking pretty evil. And there's this other guy, this insulation salesman named Harry Price, who's trying to, sell him on getting some insulation. Everyone needs that. And the mysterious stranger is telling him, well, first of all, look, I don't like you because 12 years ago, you crashed your car while drunk. You were fine, but your wife's been confined to a wheelchair ever since, and you cheat on her constantly. You've got 5 different girlfriends across the nation. Your wife knows about it. You know she knows, but you do nothing to stop that pain that you cause her. So you're a jerk. And also, at 5:32 this evening, you're going to be impaled by a swordfish. What a strange omen to say you're going to be impaled by a swordfish. Naturally, this guy, upon hearing that, he's sweating. He doesn't know what the hell he just heard. He doesn't know how this guy knows so much about him. Really evocative opening. Great open panel down here where this guy's just kind of whole world is like been shattered. Like, who did I just meet? What is happening here? So we continue on with this stranger. He goes to like a thrift shop or just I think it's a thrift shop, and he finds a Ouija board, and he's asking, the origin of it. Where'd you get this? No. He's asking, do you sell a lot of these? And the shopkeeper says, not really. We sold one about 6 months ago. And that's important. That's important to note. He also notices a print of Goya's Sleep of Reason painting, on the poster, setup that, like, Hot Topic has, where they're all in the plastic cases and you click through them and it's click, click, click. He's got one of those things. And he sees Goya. He says, oh, you know what? I was with Goya when he was painting it. I never got to see the finished product. So, yeah, I'll take this. This is really nice. Shopkeeper's like, all right, weirdo. Like, what's going on? The stranger finds a hotel. It was an atmospheric hotel. And the caption says, the devil checked in at noon. So, getting some possible foreshadowing of who this guy might be. And then we have our splash page here. We get our first Swamp Thing image. And like I said, this name of the issue is The Sleep of Reason. And I wanted to take this opportunity to kind of show you guys. I've been switching back and forth between using the real issues and the trade paperbacks when I don't own the real issues. And I just want to give you a sense of, like, the color difference. The modern trades do a pretty good job of keeping to the original colors. It's just that the original colors were designed for newsprint, so the paper absorbs the color a bit more. And the reprints are on glossy paper, so there's no absorption being done. So the colors tend to be a little bit more saturated. But generally, it's a pretty good reproduction. Like, if you're gonna, like, if you can't find the original issues, the trade paperbacks aren't the worst way to go. You lose a little bit of that fidelity, but it's not the worst. But anyway, good splash page here. I like these catfish. They're just really well drawn. I think Bissette must have definitely had some photo reference there. Those are some Good looking catfish. So Swamp Thing's hanging out underwater here in the swamp. He's just chilling. And we flip over here. Another great turtle. Love the wildlife. Stephen Bissette's so good at like the wildlife. And great kind of subversion of the horror trope here. You got the swamp monster reaching for the dainty foot. He grabs it and he yanks her underwater. But this is not a monster movie that you would expect. This is not a horror. This is not danger for the woman. The woman is Abby Arcane, his very close friend, and they seem to be getting closer. He's pulled her underwater and he's dunked her, and you know he's just goofing around. He's just being a little silly goose. You know, Swamp Thing's being a little silly. Abby, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Abby's looking really good here. I wouldn't say Steve Bissette is amazing at making like beautiful women, but she's she's looking kind of fine there. I gotta say. So I like the red jean cutoffs and the red shirt. Really good look. Sorry about that. So they're hanging out, and Abby tells Swamp Thing like she just got a new job. She just had an interview the other day, yesterday, and she tells him about it. And it's a job working as like a para for autistic children. And in this is where we get the introduction to the center where those children currently live. Going back to this imagery of Abby, this was used in a previous issue where all black silhouette but keeping the white hair. I really like that. I mentioned that in that other issue as well. So she's meeting Paul here. She's going to be the para for Paul, who is supposed to be 6 years old, which drawing children is notoriously difficult, especially with like ink. They just always come across looking a bit older. So Abby's getting Paul's backstory here. He's drawn some art recently that's really disturbing about the Monkey King, who comes and attacks and kills people and rips them apart if they spell words incorrectly. So that's a little frightening. But the woman that's hiring Abby here, she talks about how it's an intense job. She remembers her first autistic kid. They scared her to death. I promised myself I'd quit the first chance I got. That was 8 years ago. Abby, do you want this job? Abby says, yeah, I do. So Abby's got a new job. Swamp Thing, very supportive of her. And she leaves. He's left in the swamp, and he feels there's something coming in the air. Autumn is coming, and he's trying to figure out, what comes with the autumn as he stands. I like this silhouette a lot. The yellow sky, a lot of green on the page, and then you got the yellow sky. That's kind of like I wonder if it's dawn or dusk, or if it's just a creative choice. But great silhouette there. Really good art by Joe Kubert for the Joe Kubert School. Stephen Bissette and Rick Veitch, who takes over for the art later in the series, both were Kubert School graduates. Oh wait, was Bissette? Yeah, Bissette was. They met at the Kubert School. That's right. We are back with the mysterious stranger. He's attending an auction, and we get some pretty important information here. He meets another guy who says, his wife's at the auction. She's buying some lawn furniture, and the stranger tells him, no, she's not actually going to buy the furniture. Also, next summer, you're going to be in jail for manslaughter. And when he tells him that premonition, the panel border gets really choppy. Everything else is really clean, but we start to see some choppy panels introduced here when something kind of supernatural is happening. And we also get another shot of the Ouija board. So the Ouija board comes from this auction, and this guy tells our stranger that the auction is for a family that died a few months ago. So all their stuff's been up for auction. So the stranger has bought their Ouija board. He was asking about it at the thrift shop earlier. Now he's got one from himself from this couple that died, and he gives this guy a bad omen. So we come back here. Abby's getting ready for her first day at work, and her deadbeat husband, Matt Cable, is saying oh, you're getting a lot more excited about those kids than you've been about me lately. And you look back at him, and he's just kind of sitting there with his gut and looking miserable. And it's like, of course she's excited about something else other than you. You're disgusting, and you're a drunk, and you don't treat her well. So she leaves, and he's got his powers of illusion and making monsters appear and stuff. And he does something, he animates her clothing to look like it's filled out with her, even though there's nothing there. And, he tells her, get on your knees and apologize to me, because he's living out his degenerate fantasies with his powers there. Whenever he uses his powers, things tend to get really red, which is reflected here in the color palette. It's also been used in previous issues. Really like that usage there. We turn the page, and we get a big monster on the next page. We get more of Paul's backstory. Paul is the kid, the autistic child that Abby's going to be looking after, and he's remembering his parents using a Ouija board many months ago. His parents were killed many months ago. That's why he's ended up in this home here, and they're using the Ouija board, and they're getting some messages from it, some messages coming through, and they're trying to spell out what that message is, but the spelling doesn't make any sense. They don't know what the spirit's trying to tell them. And I'll linger on this page here. There's something on this page where, if you're paying close attention, has been alluded to already, and it's gonna come back in the story pretty soon. So, Eagle Eye viewers, leave a comment right now and let me know if you see what's going to be coming up soon. You don't actually have to do that. You don't have to worry about that. But again, look at these choppy borders. Like, something supernatural is going on. So we get these thicker, uneven borders with like a thick marker that Bissette or Totleben are laying down. And so they're using the Ouija board, and they summon this terrifying looking creature. This white creature looks an awful lot like the Monkey King that Paul was drawing in his drawings. And the creature attacks his parents and absolutely brutalizes them. The narration here says Paul lay upstairs. He heard it all, the screaming, the sound exactly like someone eating lettuce. What disgusting descriptive imagery, but for an audio cue, just like that. Really good storytelling there. And the creature doesn't hurt him; it comes to him and it nuzzles against him, and it rubs its snout on his hand, and he can feel the stickiness of the snout on his hand. And that's the thing that's the memory that's driving him nuts the most. Is that was the most awful thing he can remember about it, was that nuzzling from the snout. We're back at the auction, and we got the guy that thought his wife was buying the lawn furniture. The stranger was right. She didn't buy the furniture. She bought this other thing that they've tied to the roof that's all tied up. They strap the thing to the roof, and they speed off down the road. Another open panel here. They've been using that a lot in this issue. Really great spread here. I love any time Swamp Thing is just kind of sitting quietly and contemplating life with the wildlife around him. He senses trouble is brewing. The great red sun spot behind him to create some contrast here. So he senses something is wrong. We also get he's having memories here of interstitching between him and Alec Holland burning in the swamp, where he can hear the roar of the explosion, hear the dreadful sizzling and bubbling and popping. He is propelled, a blazing, stringless puppet, stumbling through the flames like some Catholic martyr, and he screams and falls and wakes and thinks, what is it that comes with the autumn? And knows it is fear. And obviously great, you could tell what's happening here, where they're moving in concert with each other, but they're flipping between Swamp Thing Alec, and he stumbles. Another great open panel of him looking at with that knowledge that fear is coming to Louisiana. Flip on over, and our stranger, again, he's now doing something with the Ouija board, and he's obviously looking into this family's demise at the hands of this demon. This is their Ouija board. I think we can put that together reasonably. Great framing device here, where we have the print of Sleep of Reason by Goya hanging on his wall, where he's hung up his coat. He hangs up his coat. He comes home. He does this like seance or whatever. He gets a sense. He gets the word Kamara from the planchette, and then he heads back out. And it's a good frame because he arrives. We've got the Goya. We see the Goya again. He's getting his coat so he can leave. So good page there. Next up, Harry Price from the very first page. The insulation salesman, he bumps into Abby, and he starts trying to put the moves on her, and she's not having any of it. No thanks. I'm gonna go. You know, I don't really know you, and he won't let things go. He's following after her like a skis would, like a real skis would, and he walks directly into traffic. And who should he cross paths with but the couple at the auction, who have to slam on the brakes, and the thing on the roof comes undone and comes shooting out, and what do you know? It's a swordfish, and it is aimed directly at Harry Price, and crunch, directly into him. We got a pool of blood, and we'll go back here just to give you the foreshadowing. This is the original panel, and we can see the swordfish in the background of this couple using the Ouija board. So it's all connected. Really well thought out, well plotted stuff. Every detail in place. So Harry takes a swordfish to the chest. That's unfortunate for him. Real quick freeze frame here. I just noticed this while I was editing. When Abby first meets Price, there is a clock visible that shows that it is 5:30. The premonition by the stranger was that he would be impaled at 5:32. And when we see the clock again, the minute hand is indeed on the 32-minute point. So beautiful attention to detail. And we get a character reveal here because the mysterious stranger is also tailing Abby. He's following her. He gets in her path, and he introduces himself. His name is Blood, Jason Blood. And if you are a seasoned DC Comics reader, that name should sound familiar to you. Should I give it away for the non-initiated? No, I won't. I'm not going to give it away. But Jason Blood is an established DC character, and if you know, you know. There's also another cameo on this page, and this issue actually goes for a little bit of money now because of this. In this upper right panel here, this guy that looks like Sting passes by Abby Arcane. And while he has no lines and he's never named and he doesn't come back for another 12 issues, that is John Constantine. This is Alan Moore laying the seed that Constantine is in Louisiana, doing something. And we'll definitely meet a lot more of him in the coming issues. But after those character introductions, we're back with Paul at the children's home, and again, we're back with these curvy borders because something supernatural and weird's going on. So things start, it's orderly, and then things start getting weird when this Monkey King starts to show back up. And he ends up in Paul's room, and he's obviously causing Paul some distress. It's mentioned here that this thing doesn't want to hurt him; it wants him to be its friend. And this thing is now setting out into the home for kids, and it is implied that he is like feeding on their fear. And we get some. I'll read some of the closing narration here because it's always good to listen to some Alan Moore writing. It wants him to tell it what to do, but he can't. He doesn't know how, and so it just does what it wants. The little girl in the next room is called Roberta. At the age of 4, Roberta accidentally smothered her infant brother with a polyethylene bag. That's why she's here. The taste of her fear is bright and coppery. It drinks both deeply and well. In the next room is a boy named Michael, and after that, John, and then Jessica, and Delroy, and Simone. There are many children, but the night is long, and it is very hungry. And we close on Goya's The Sleep of Reason. Probably should have highlighted this earlier, but when Jason Blood sees the Goya painting in the thrift shop, he completes the phrase where the sleep of reason brings for monsters. So that's what we're getting here at the closure, is that the sleep of reason has brought this monster. Next up, issue 26 is called A Time of Running. Oh, I love this issue. This is such a good issue. I really hope you enjoyed it too. Let me know if I missed anything else from this. It seems like a really dense issue. There's a lot going on. Let me know what you liked about it. Thank you very much for spending some time with me today. But now, it's time to get back to reading.